I haven't listened to a lot of music by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, but I do like one of their songs, and it's called Into My Arms. It's a melancholic song, a love song that expresses the depths of darkness a person feels at the end of a long-term relationship or breakup. And the chorus goes a little like this: I don't believe in an interventionist God, but I know, darling, that you do. But if I did, I would kneel down and ask him not to intervene when it came to you, not to touch a hair on your head, to leave you as you are. And if you felt he has to direct you, then direct you into my arms. So, interesting chorus. On the one hand, Nick Cave is saying, I don't believe in an interventionist God, but if such a God does exist, then I do hope and pray he will direct you back to me, back into my arms. Paul Farrell, a journalist with The Guardian, really likes this song too. So much so, he thinks it's one of the great songs and is worthy of becoming an Australian anthem, would you believe? And I'm wondering if maybe he's right, or at least it's understandable for him to say that, because I think many Australians have a similar view of God and life as Nick Cave does, or as Nick Cave expresses in that song. That many Australians don't believe in an interventionist God. They don't believe that there is a God who intervenes and interferes. He may be there. There may be a God. But that God is not involved in this world and in public affairs and in what's happening around us. It's a popular alternative to believing in God, and it's also popular because it's less arrogant than the bold declaration of the atheist who says there absolutely is no God. So I think that's why it's become quite popular amongst Australian people. Many Australians are willing to accept that maybe God exists. But if he does, he is not involved in what we're doing. We just don't know him. We don't know who he is, and we don't know what he's doing about the state of the world. And he doesn't seem to intervene to change anything. He just lets things go on as they always have without intervening. The sufferings of so many people around the world is one of the main reasons why people have become agnostic. They don't see God doing something to overcome evil with good, or to correct the bad with good, or to do what's right. And so, they don't believe in an interventionist God as Nick Cave describes it. Yet, when Christians gather together, we continually sing that we do believe in an interventionist God. We believe that Jesus is the evidence that we need that God has intervened and come to the rescue. What is different about Jesus is he's not what we expected. If we expected God to come in force and in power and to just put everything right, then that's not the way God has come in the person of Jesus. And I think there's a good reason for that, because if God came like that, then there's judgment. There is the righting of wrong, there is the correcting of evil, there is the dealing with anybody who does not want God, or has never even wanted God to be involved in their own lives. So instead of coming to judge the world, Jesus comes to save the world, and he does that in a very smart and strategic way. He becomes one of us, gets amongst us, lives life like us, and actually in a very underprivileged, poor way compared to many of us here in Australia. And then he gets even more involved because he experiences human pain and suffering. He experiences injustice. He's tried in the court of public appeal by people who don't understand him and misconstrue what he says, and that finally results in him being put on trial for trumped up charges and publicly humiliated by corrupt religious and political leaders, even crucified as a common criminal, even though he's innocent. That's heavy involvement. That's deep intervention. And then, in addition, he gets so involved and is intervening to rescue and save humanity that he takes upon himself the consequences of humanity's betrayal of the Creator. And we're told by the writers of Jesus' life that he was abandoned by God on the cross, rejected, that he was the sacrificial lamb. He was the scapegoat to take away the sins of the world. So that's why we sing with confidence. That's why Christianity is a better alternative to agnosticism, because we say God did intervene. Not in the way we expected, that will come later, but in a way that we needed, which is to become one of us and to suffer as a human being, not only from the injustice and corruption of people, he experienced that, but to experience and take on himself the consequences of humanity's sin, to wipe them away and remove them, and therefore to bring people who trust in him, to direct them back into God's arms.